Have you ever wondered why ancient civilizations buried coins with salt, believing it would open doorways to unimaginable abundance? What if I told you that this simple act, when done with the right intention and understanding, could become your personal portal to prosperity? And here's what might shock you most. While you've been searching for complex manifestation techniques, the universe has been waiting for you to discover this incredibly simple yet powerful practice that's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. This video is meant to be listened to with your full attention, not just watched in the background while you scroll through your phone. I need you to absorb every single word, because what I'm about to share with you requires immediate action. This is auditory learning at its finest, and the moment this video ends, you need to go and put this into practice. The universe doesn't wait for perfect timing, it waits for perfect intention, and that moment is now. You know, I've been studying the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern manifestation for over a decade, and I've noticed something fascinating about our community here. We're all seekers, aren't we? We're all looking for that one key that unlocks the door to the abundance we know we deserve. And sometimes that key is so simple, so elegant, that we almost miss it because we're looking for something more complicated. Let me start by telling you about Sarah from Phoenix, Arizona. Sarah was a single mom working 2 jobs, barely making ends meet, when she stumbled upon this practice during one of the darkest periods of her life. She had exactly $73 to her name. Her car was making strange noises, and her landlord had just raised her rent. She was desperate, frustrated, and honestly, a little skeptical about anything that promised to change her financial situation. But something about this ancient practice called to her, maybe because it was so simple that she figured she had nothing to lose. Sarah took a quarter, the last quarter from her car's cup holder, placed it in a small bowl of salt water, and began the process. I'm about to teach you. Within 2 weeks, she received an unexpected tax refund she'd completely forgotten about. Within a month, she got a promotion at her primary job. Within 3 months, she'd started a small side business that was bringing in an extra $1,000 a month. But here's the thing, and this is crucial to understand. It wasn't magic in the way most people think about magic. It was alignment. The coin in saltwater practice works because it combines 3 of the most powerful elements in manifestation: intention, symbolism, and energetic clearing. Think of it like this. Imagine your financial energy is like a river that's been blocked by fallen trees, old debris, and stagnant pools. The salt water acts like a spring cleaning for your energetic field, washing away old limiting beliefs and financial blocks. The coin becomes a seed, a symbol of abundance that you're planting in the fertile soil of your intention. But wait, before I tell you exactly how to do this practice, let me share something that might surprise you about why this works so powerfully. Salt has been used for purification and protection in every culture throughout history. From the ancient Egyptians to modern-day spiritual practitioners, salt is recognized as one of nature's most powerful cleansing agents. It doesn't just clean physical spaces, it cleans energetic spaces too. When you place a coin in salt water, you're essentially creating a miniature portal where the cleansing properties of salt meet the symbolic power of currency. Now, coins themselves carry incredible energetic significance. Think about it. Every coin that's ever been in circulation has passed through hundreds, maybe thousands of hands. Each person who's touched that coin has left an energetic imprint on it. Some of those imprints are positive, from people who were grateful, generous, and abundant. Others might carry the energy of fear, lack, or desperation. When you place a coin in salt water, you're clearing all of those old energies and imprinting it with your own intention for prosperity. Here's where it gets really interesting, and I want you to stay with me, because this next part is going to change how you think about money forever. Most people treat money like it's separate from them, like it's something external they have to chase, hunt down, or struggle to obtain. But what if I told you that money is actually just energy? And like all energy, it responds to your vibration, your intention, and your alignment. The ancient Greeks understood this. They had a concept called sympathetic magic, which basically means that like attracts like. When you perform a ritual with a coin, you're not just working with a piece of metal, you're working with the energetic essence of abundance itself. The coin becomes a tuning fork, helping you align your personal vibration with the frequency of prosperity. I remember talking to Michael from Austin, Texas, who was a carpenter struggling to find steady work. Michael had been laid off from his construction job and was starting to panic about his bills. He'd always been a practical guy, not really into what he called woo-woo stuff. But his sister convinced him to try this practice. Michael's exact words to me were, "I figured worst-case scenario. I waste 5 minutes and a nickel." Michael placed a nickel in salt water on his kitchen counter, and following the process I'm about to share with you, focused his intention every morning for 7 days. On day 4, his former boss called him back for a new project. On day 6, a neighbor asked him to build a custom deck. By the end of the month, Michael had more work than he could handle and was turning down projects. The beautiful thing about Michael's story is that he didn't sit around waiting for money to fall from the sky. The practice aligned his energy, which gave him the confidence and clarity to take inspired action. This is the difference between manifestation and wishful thinking, and it's something our community here really understands. Manifestations isn't about sitting on your couch visualizing winning the lottery. It's about aligning your energy so powerfully with abundance that opportunities, ideas, and resources naturally flow toward you. The coin in saltwater practice is like tuning your radio to the abundance frequency. Now, let me tell you about the science behind why this works, because I know some of you beautiful, analytical minds need the logical explanation alongside the spiritual one. Water is an incredible conductor of energy. Every major spiritual tradition recognizes water as a purifying and amplifying element. Scientists have discovered that water has memory, that it can hold and transfer information. When you infuse water with salt and place a coin in it, you're creating what's essentially an energetic battery. The salt purifies, the water amplifies, and the coin serves as both an antenna and a storage device for your abundance intention. It's like creating a miniature manifestation device right in your own home. But here's the key that most people miss, and this is why some people get incredible results while others see nothing. It's not about the physical objects themselves. It's about what you bring to the practice. Your intention, your belief, your emotional state when you perform this ritual. That's where the real power lies. The coin and salt water are just tools, like a paintbrush in the hands of an artist. The paintbrush doesn't create the masterpiece. The artist does. Similarly, the coin and salt water don't create the abundance. You do, through your alignment, intention, and inspired action. If this is resonating with you, if you can feel that little spark of recognition in your chest, hit that like button right now so I know you're with me on this journey. I love seeing those likes come in because it tells me we're building something beautiful together, this community of conscious manifestors who are ready to step into their abundance. Let me share another story that perfectly illustrates the power of intention in this practice. Jennifer from Seattle was a graphic designer who'd been freelancing for 3 years, but never seemed to break through to the next level of income. She was talented, hard-working, but something was blocking her financial flow. Jennifer had tried vision boards, affirmations, even hired a business coach, but nothing seemed to shift her income beyond a certain threshold. When Jennifer learned about the coin in saltwater practice, she approached it with a scientist's mind. She decided to document everything: her emotional state, her thoughts, any synchronicities or opportunities that arose. Jennifer chose a silver dollar that had belonged to her grandmother, a woman who had built a successful business during the 1940s, when very few women were entrepreneurs. The moment Jennifer placed that silver dollar in the salt water, she felt something shift. It wasn't dramatic or earth-shattering. It was subtle, like a door quietly opening in a room she didn't even know existed. Over the next month, Jennifer started noticing things she'd been blind to before. She saw opportunities for higher-paying clients. She gained the confidence to raise her rates. And most importantly, she stopped settling for projects that didn't align with her worth. By the end of 3 months, Jennifer had doubled her income, not through any external change in the market, but through internal shifts in how she valued herself and her work. The coin hadn't magically brought money to her door. It had helped her clear the energetic blocks that were keeping her from receiving the abundance that was already trying to flow to her. This brings me to one of the most important concepts in abundance work: the difference between attracting money and allowing money. Most people are trying so hard to attract money that they're actually pushing it away with their desperation and force. It's like trying to catch a butterfly by chasing it around your garden. The harder you chase, the faster it flies away. But if you sit quietly, maybe plant some beautiful flowers, and create an inviting environment, the butterfly will come to you naturally. The coin in saltwater practice helps you shift from chasing to allowing, from grasping to receiving. It's a gentle recalibration of your relationship with abundance. Instead of seeing yourself as separate from prosperity, you begin to see yourself as a natural conduit for it. Now, I need to address something that comes up every time I share this practice, and I want to be completely honest with you about it. Some people will try this once, maybe half-heartedly, and when they don't win the lottery the next day, they'll dismiss it as nonsense. These are usually the same people who expect to run a marathon without training, or learn a language without studying. They want the result without the relationship. True abundance work is about building a relationship with prosperity, not just performing a one-time trick. It's about consistently aligning your energy, clearing your blocks, and taking inspired action. The coin in saltwater practice is incredibly powerful, but it's not a substitute for doing your inner work, addressing your limiting beliefs, or taking practical steps toward your goals. Think of it like this. If abundance were a radio station, most people are walking around with static-filled reception. The coin in saltwater practice is like adjusting the antenna until you get crystal clear reception. But once you can hear the music clearly, you still need to dance to it. You still need to take action, make calls, apply for opportunities, start that business, or whatever your version of dancing looks like. I'm curious. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have a magical relationship with money? Everything they touch turns to gold. Opportunities find them instead of the other way around. And they seem to effortlessly flow from one success to another. I used to think these people were just lucky, born under a fortunate star, or had some secret advantage the rest of us didn't know about. But after years of studying prosperity consciousness and working with hundreds of people in our community, I've discovered that these lucky people all share one common trait. They have a clear, unobstructed, energetic relationship with abundance. They don't carry guilt about wanting money, shame about having it, or fear about losing it. They see prosperity as a natural part of life, like breathing or the sunrise. The coin in saltwater practice helps you develop this same clear, unobstructed relationship. It's like spiritual plumbing for your abundance flow. Just as a plumber might clear blockages in your water pipes, so clean water can flow freely. This practice clears energetic blockages, so prosperity can flow freely into your life. But here's something I want you to really understand, and this might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. The coin in saltwater practice isn't just about money. It's about your entire relationship with receiving. How you do money is how you do everything. If you have blocks around receiving money, you probably have blocks around receiving love, compliments, help, opportunities, and all the other beautiful gifts life wants to give you. When you clear your abundance blocks, you don't just open the door to financial prosperity. You open the door to prosperity in all areas of your life. You become more open to receiving the perfect relationship, the ideal living situation, the career that fulfills your soul, the friendships that nourish your spirit. Abundance is a holistic experience, not just a bank account balance. Let me tell you about David from Miami, who discovered this truth in the most beautiful way. David was a yoga instructor who had always struggled with the intersection of spirituality and money. He felt guilty charging for his classes, uncomfortable asking for payment, and constantly gave away his services for free. David loved what he did, but he was barely surviving financially, and the stress was starting to affect his teaching and his own spiritual practice. When David started the coin in saltwater practice, he chose a penny, thinking that if he couldn't handle abundance, he should start small. But something beautiful happened during his first week of practice. As he focused on the penny each morning, setting his intention for prosperity, he began to realize that his discomfort with money wasn't spiritual at all. It was fear masquerading as spirituality. David began to understand that by undervaluing his gifts, he wasn't being humble or spiritual. He was actually depriving people of the transformation his teaching could bring to their lives. He realized that money was simply energy exchange, a way for people to say, "Thank you for the value you've brought to my life." Within a month of starting the practice, David had raised his class rates, started teaching private sessions, and launched an online course. But the most beautiful part of his transformation wasn't the increased income. It was the increased impact he was able to make. Because David was finally receiving in alignment with his giving, he could serve more people, create better content, and show up more powerfully in his teaching. This is what I mean when I say, the coin in saltwater practice is about so much more than money. It's about aligning with your worth, clearing your blocks around receiving, and stepping into the fullness of who you're meant to be. It's about recognizing that abundance isn't selfish, it's service. The more abundantly you live, the more you can contribute to the world. Now, let me share with you the exact process, step by step, because I know you've been patiently waiting for the practical application. But before I do, I want you to understand that this isn't just a recipe you follow mechanically. This is a sacred practice, a conversation between you and the universe, a ritual of alignment and intention. Wait until you hear exactly how to choose your coin, because the selection process itself is part of the magic, and what I'm about to tell you about the timing might completely change your results. Stay with me, because the next part is where everything comes together, and I promise you, it's even more powerful than what I've shared so far. The first step is choosing your coin, and this is where most people either get it completely right or completely wrong. You don't just grab any coin from your pocket or purse. The coin you choose becomes a sacred object, a physical representation of your abundance intention, so you want to choose it with care and consciousness. Here's what I recommend. And this comes from both ancient wisdom and modern success stories from our community. Choose a coin that has some personal significance to you, but not so much that you'd be devastated if you lost it. It could be a coin from a meaningful year, like the year you were born, the year you got married, or the year you started your business. It could be a coin from a place that holds special meaning for you, or a coin that someone special gave you. Some people choose pennies because they want to start with humility and work their way up. Others choose quarters because they want to represent the 4 seasons or the 4 elements. I've had people use silver dollars, foreign coins they picked up during travels, or even challenge coins from their military service. The specific type of coin matters less than the intention and meaning you assign to it. But here's a crucial point. Once you choose your coin for this practice, that coin becomes dedicated to this purpose. You don't spend it, you don't lend it to someone, and you don't use it for anything else. It becomes a sacred tool in your abundance practice, and treating it with that level of respect is part of what makes the practice so powerful. Maria from Denver found this out accidentally when she first learned about the practice. Maria had chosen a commemorative quarter from her home state of Colorado, a quarter that reminded her of her grandmother's house in the mountains, where she'd felt most at peace as a child. Maria did the practice for a week and started seeing small but noticeable improvements in her financial situation. Then, without thinking, she used that quarter to pay for parking one day. The improvement stopped, not just stopped, but actually seemed to reverse a little bit. Maria couldn't figure out what had happened until she remembered using her sacred quarter for parking. She found another Colorado quarter, started the practice again, and this time treated the coin with the reverence it deserved. The improvements not only resumed but accelerated beyond what she'd experienced the first time. This taught Maria, and all of us, an important lesson about the power of commitment and sacred space in manifestation work. When you dedicate an object to a spiritual purpose, you're creating a container for that energy. Breaking that container, even accidentally, disrupts the energetic flow you've been building. The second element you need is salt, but not just any salt will do. You want pure salt, as free from additives and chemicals as possible. Sea salt is excellent, Himalayan pink salt is beautiful, and plain kosher salt works perfectly too. Avoid table salt with anti-caking agents or iodized salt if you can, because you want the purest energetic vibration possible. The amount of salt you use isn't as important as the intention you bring to it. I typically recommend about a tablespoon of salt for every cup of water. But some people prefer their salt water more concentrated. Others prefer it lighter. Trust your intuition on this. The salt water should feel energetically clean and powerful to you. Water is the third element, and here's where it gets interesting. You want clean, pure water, but it doesn't have to be expensive bottled water or blessed holy water, unless that feels right to you. Many people use filtered tap water and charge it with their intention. Some people collect rainwater or moon water. Others use spring water they've collected themselves. The key with the water, just like with everything else in this practice, is your intention and relationship with it. Before you add the salt, hold the water in your hands and consciously charge it with your abundance intention. Thank the water for being part of your manifestation process. This isn't silly or unnecessary. It's recognizing that everything in the universe is alive and conscious at some level, and when you honor that consciousness, it responds to you. Now comes the timing, and this is where many people either supercharge their results or completely miss the mark. While you can technically do this practice at any time, certain timing will amplify your results exponentially. The most powerful times are during the new moon, which is perfect for setting new intentions and beginning new ventures, or during the waxing moon phase when lunar energy is building and growing. If you can't wait for the perfect moon phase, and honestly, Sometimes the best time is right now when you're feeling inspired and aligned. Then choose a time when you won't be interrupted. Early morning is beautiful because you're setting the tone for your entire day. Late evening can be powerful too, especially if you're the type of person whose intuition is strongest at night. The day of the week can matter too, though this is more about personal alignment than universal law. Thursday is traditionally associated with abundance and expansion in many spiritual traditions. Sunday, as a day of renewal and fresh starts, can be powerful. But again, the most important factor is choosing a time when you feel centered, focused, and aligned with your intention. Here's the process itself, and I want you to listen carefully because each step builds on the last one, creating a complete energetic experience that's much more powerful than the sum of its parts. First, create your sacred space. This doesn't mean you need an elaborate altar or expensive candles. Though if those things help you feel connected to the practice, use them. Sacred space is really about sacred intention. Turn off your phone, light a candle if you have one. Maybe play some gentle music that helps you feel centered. Let anyone in your household know that you need a few minutes of uninterrupted time. Take a few deep breaths and consciously shift from whatever you were doing before into a state of openness and receptivity. This is your transition from the mundane world into the sacred world where manifestation happens. Next, prepare your salt water with intention. As you add the salt to the water, visualize the salt purifying and clearing any old, stagnant energy around your finances. See it dissolving limiting beliefs, fears, and blocks. Some people like to stir the salt water clockwise, setting the intention for energy to flow toward them. Others prefer to simply let the salt dissolve naturally, trusting in the process. Hold your chosen coin in your hands and take a moment to connect with it. This might sound strange if you've never done energy work before, but everything has its own energetic signature, including coins. Feel the weight of it, the temperature, the texture. Some people sense warmth, tingling, or other subtle sensations when they hold their coin with intention. Now comes the most important part, setting your intention. This isn't the time to be vague or wishy-washy. The universe responds to clarity and specificity. Instead of, "I want more money," try something like, "I am open to receiving abundant financial opportunities that align with my highest good." Instead of, "I need money for rent," try, "I am grateful for the perfect financial flow that supports my ideal living situation." Your intention should feel expansive, not desperate. It should feel like possibility, not lack. It should feel like gratitude for what's already on its way to you, not anxiety about what you don't currently have. This distinction in energy is absolutely crucial to your results. Place the coin in the salt water while holding your intention clearly in your mind and heart. Some people like to speak their intention out loud. Others prefer to hold it silently. There's no right or wrong way. Only what feels most authentic and powerful to you. Once the coin is in the salt water, take a moment to visualize your intention manifesting. See yourself living in abundance. Feel what it feels like to be financially free. Imagine the opportunities and possibilities that are opening up for you. Make it as real and vivid as possible, engaging all your senses. But here's something crucial that I need you to understand. And this is where many people sabotage their own results. After you set your intention and place your coin in the salt water, you need to release attachment to the outcome. This sounds contradictory. I know. How can you set a clear intention and then let go of attachment to it? Think of it like planting a seed in your garden. You plant the seed with clear intention for what you want it to become. You water it, You make sure it has good soil and sunlight, but then you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process, you tend to it consistently, but you don't obsess over when and how it will sprout. This is the dance between intention and surrender that makes manifestation so powerful. You set your intention clearly and powerfully. You take inspired action when opportunities arise, but you hold it all lightly, trusting that the universe knows the perfect timing and the perfect way for your abundance to unfold. Let your coin sit in the salt water for at least 24 hours, though many people find 7 days to be particularly powerful. During this time, spend a few minutes each day connecting with your intention. You don't need to do anything elaborate. Just sit quietly with your coin and salt water for a minute or two, reaffirming your openness to abundance and your gratitude for what's already flowing toward you. Some people like to journal during this period, writing about any insights, dreams, or synchronicities they notice. Others prefer to simply stay present and aware throughout their day, noticing opportunities they might have missed before, or shifts in their own thinking and behavior around money. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had an experience where setting a clear intention seemed to immediately start shifting things in your life, even before you saw the physical results? I love hearing these stories because they remind us all of how powerful we really are as conscious creators. After your coin has spent its time in the salt water, you have several options for what to do next. And this is where you get to trust your intuition and follow what feels right for your situation. Some people carry the coin with them as a constant reminder of their abundance intention. Others place it in their wallet or purse or on their desk where they'll see it regularly. Some people create a small abundance altar in their home and place the coin there. The salt water itself has become charged with your intention, so don't just pour it down the drain without acknowledging its role in your practice. Some people use it to water plants that represent growth and abundance to them. Others pour it outside on the earth with gratitude. Some people save a small amount in a special container as a reminder of their commitment to prosperity. What you do with the physical elements matters less than maintaining the energetic connection you've established. The real work of the practice happens in the shifts in your consciousness, your energy, and your daily actions. The coin and salt water are catalysts, not magical solutions. Now, here's something I need to address because it comes up in our community regularly, and I want to be completely transparent with you about it. Some people will do this practice and see immediate dramatic results. Others will do it and notice subtle shifts that build over time. Still others might not notice anything at first, but then realize, weeks or months later, that something fundamental has changed in their relationship with abundance. There's no one right way for this to work, and comparing your results to someone else's is one of the fastest ways to sabotage your own success. Your journey with abundance is unique to you, your history, your beliefs, and your soul's path. Trust your process, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. I remember talking to Patricia from Atlanta, who was convinced the practice wasn't working for her because she didn't see immediate financial changes like some of the other stories she'd heard. But when Patricia really looked at her life after a month of practice, she realized that something profound had shifted in her confidence and self-worth. She'd started speaking up in meetings at work. She'd ended a relationship that was draining her energy. And she'd begun setting boundaries with family members who had been taking advantage of her generosity. Patricia's abundance practice was working perfectly. It just wasn't working in the way she'd expected. Sometimes the universe needs to help us become the person who can handle greater abundance before it sends us the abundance itself. Sometimes the practice works by clearing internal blocks first, then external circumstances shift naturally. 6 months after Patricia started the practice, She received a promotion at work that came with a significant salary increase. But more importantly, she felt worthy of it. She negotiated confidently, asked for what she wanted, and felt completely aligned with receiving it. The coin in saltwater practice had prepared her energetically for success long before the success manifested in her bank account. This brings me to a crucial point about manifestation timing that I think everyone in our community needs to understand. The universe operates on perfect timing, not our timing. When we set an intention and don't see immediate results, it's not because the practice isn't working or because we're doing something wrong. It's because there might be preparation that needs to happen first. Maybe you need to develop skills that will help you handle greater abundance. Maybe there are people you need to meet, connections you need to make, or opportunities that need to ripen before your intention can manifest in the physical world. Maybe your own energy field needs time to adjust to a new level of prosperity consciousness. The coin in saltwater practice begins working the moment you set your intention with genuine openness and commitment. But the timeline for seeing external results depends on countless factors, many of which are invisible to us. This is why the practice of surrendering attachment to timing is so crucial to success. If this perspective on timing and trust is hitting home for you, give this video a like so I know this message is resonating. I really love connecting with everyone in our community who understands that manifestation is as much about inner transformation as it is about external results. Let me share one more story before we move into some advanced applications of this practice because I think it beautifully illustrates the importance of staying open to unexpected forms of abundance. Robert from Portland had been unemployed for 6 months when he started the coin in saltwater practice. Robert was focused specifically on finding a new job in his field of marketing, and he set his intention very clearly around employment. After 2 weeks of practice, Robert hadn't received any job offers, but he had started feeling more creative and inspired than he'd felt in years. He began working on a personal project, creating marketing materials for local small businesses just for fun, just to keep his skills sharp. One of those small businesses was so impressed with his work that they offered him a consulting contract. That contract led to 3 more contracts, and within 6 months, Robert had built a thriving freelance business that was earning more than his previous corporate job. Robert's abundance came through entrepreneurship instead of employment, through creativity instead of traditional job hunting. The universe had a better plan for his prosperity than the one he'd originally envisioned. But he was only able to receive it because he'd stayed open and taken inspired action when opportunities arose. This is why I always encourage people to set specific intentions, but remain flexible about how those intentions manifest. The universe is infinitely creative and often has solutions that are more beautiful and abundant than anything we could imagine ourselves. But wait until you hear about the advanced applications of this practice, because what I'm about to share with you takes everything to a completely different level. Stay with me, because the most powerful part is still coming, and I have a feeling it's going to transform not just your relationship with money, but your entire understanding of how manifestation really works. Now that you understand the foundational practice, let me share with you the advanced applications that can exponentially amplify your results. What I'm about to reveal are techniques that I've only shared with my closest students. Methods that take the simple coin and saltwater practice and transform it into a complete abundance system that works on multiple levels simultaneously. The first advanced technique is what I call abundance layering, and it involves working with multiple coins for different aspects of your financial life. Instead of using just one coin for general abundance, you create a constellation of intentions, each represented by its own coin, and each addressing a specific area of your prosperity. For example, you might use a penny for daily cash flow and unexpected money, a nickel for business opportunities and career advancement, a dime for investment growth and passive income streams, and a quarter for major financial breakthroughs and life-changing abundance. Each coin gets its own small container of salt water, and you work with them as a complete system. Jessica from Chicago discovered this technique when she was struggling to balance multiple financial goals. She was trying to pay off debt, save for a house, grow her business, and increase her salary all at the same time. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by competing intentions, Jessica created what she called her abundance altar, with 4 different coins representing each goal. The results were remarkable. Within 3 months, Jessica had received a salary increase that specifically helped with her debt payments. Her business landed a major client that boosted her savings significantly. And through a series of synchronicities, she discovered an investment opportunity that started generating passive income. Most importantly, instead of feeling scattered and overwhelmed about money, Jessica felt organized and intentional about her financial growth. The key to abundance layering is making sure your individual intentions support rather than compete with each other. Each coin should represent a piece of your larger financial vision, not conflicting desires that cancel each other out. Think of it like orchestrating a symphony where every instrument plays its part in creating beautiful harmony. The second advanced technique is what I call moon cycle manifestation, where you align your coin and saltwater practice with the lunar cycles for maximum energetic support. This isn't about astrology or superstition. It's about working with natural energy patterns that have been recognized by indigenous cultures for thousands of years. During the new moon, you set fresh intentions with new coins, planting seeds for what you want to manifest in the coming lunar cycle. During the waxing moon, you tend to your practice daily, nurturing the energy and taking inspired action. During the full moon, you express gratitude for what's already manifesting and release any attachment to outcomes. During the waning moon, you clear away old limiting beliefs and prepare space for new abundance. Marcus from Denver started working with moon cycles after months of inconsistent results with the basic practice. Marcus realized he'd been approaching manifestation like a one-time event instead of an ongoing relationship with abundance. When he began aligning his practice with lunar energy, treating each month as a complete manifestation cycle, his results became not only more consistent but more powerful. Marcus tracked his practice for 6 months and noticed that his biggest financial breakthroughs consistently came during the full moon periods, while his best opportunities for new income streams appeared during new moon phases. By working with these natural rhythms instead of against them, Marcus felt like he was swimming with the current instead of fighting upstream. Here's something fascinating that many people don't realize. The moon affects not just ocean tides, but also the water in our bodies and the electromagnetic fields around us. Since manifestation happens through energy and vibration, aligning with lunar cycles literally puts cosmic forces on your side. You're not just doing a personal practice, you're harmonizing with universal rhythms that support manifestation. The third advanced technique, and this one might surprise you, is what I call gratitude amplification. Most people think gratitude is just about saying thank you for what you already have. But in advanced abundance work, gratitude becomes a powerful manifestation tool that actually accelerates the flow of prosperity into your life. Here's how it works. Every time you interact with your coin and salt water, you spend equal time expressing gratitude for abundance that hasn't manifested yet, as if it already has. This isn't delusional thinking. It's vibrational alignment. You're training your energy field to match the frequency of someone who already has what you're manifesting. For example, instead of saying, "I'm grateful for the money I have," you might say, "I'm so grateful for the perfect new income stream that's flowing to me now." Or, "Thank you for the financial breakthrough that's already on its way to me." You're expressing gratitude from the future version of yourself who already has what you're creating. Linda from Boston discovered this technique when she noticed that her manifestations were taking longer than she wanted. Linda realized she was spending most of her mental and emotional energy focused on what she didn't have, rather than appreciating what was already in motion. When she shifted to future gratitude, expressing thanks for her abundance as if it had already arrived, everything accelerated. Within 2 weeks of making this shift, Linda received a call from a client she'd worked with 2 years earlier, offering her a contract worth more than she typically earned in 6 months. The client specifically mentioned that Linda had come to mind out of nowhere, and they'd felt compelled to reach out. This is how gratitude amplification works. It puts you on the radar of abundance in ways that seem magical, but are really just energetic alignment. But let me share with you the most advanced application of all, something I've never talked about publicly before. And I'm only sharing it now because I feel our community is ready for this level of manifestation mastery. It's called abundance anchoring, and it involves using your coin and saltwater practice to permanently raise your prosperity set point. Most people have an unconscious comfort zone around money, a level of abundance that feels safe and familiar to them. Even when they consciously want more money, their subconscious mind will sabotage success if it exceeds their internal set point. Abundance anchoring uses the coin and saltwater practice to gradually and permanently expand that comfort zone. Here's the process. Every time you do your practice, you visualize not just receiving the abundance you've requested, but more importantly, you visualize yourself feeling completely comfortable, worthy, and natural with that level of prosperity. You spend time imagining yourself managing larger amounts of money with ease, making bigger decisions confidently, and living at a higher level of abundance without stress or guilt. The coin becomes an anchor for this new identity, this expanded version of yourself who naturally operates at higher levels of prosperity. Over time, your nervous system adjusts to this new normal. Your self-concept expands, and your external reality shifts to match your internal transformation. Thomas from Seattle used abundance anchoring to break through what he called his 6-figure ceiling. Thomas had built his consulting business to a comfortable level, but couldn't seem to grow beyond a certain point. Every time his income approached 6 figures, something would happen. He'd lose a client, make a poor business decision, or find some way to sabotage his own success. When Thomas started using abundance anchoring, he spent time each day with his coin and salt water, not just visualizing more money, but more importantly, visualizing himself as the kind of person who naturally earned and managed 6 figures and beyond. He imagined himself making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity, investing confidently, and serving clients at a higher level. The shift was remarkable. Within 4 months, Thomas had not only broken through his 6-figure ceiling, but had surpassed it significantly. More importantly, he felt completely natural and comfortable at this new level. He wasn't anxious about losing the money or guilty about having it. He genuinely expanded his prosperity identity, and his external reality had adjusted to match. Now, I want to address something that's probably occurring to some of you. As you hear about these advanced techniques, you might be thinking, "This sounds complicated. Do I need to do all of these things to get results?" The answer is absolutely not. The simple practice I shared in the first part of this video is complete and powerful on its own. These advanced techniques are options for people who want to deepen their practice or address specific challenges in their abundance journey. Think of it like learning to play piano. You can create beautiful music with basic chords and simple melodies. The advanced techniques are like learning jazz improvisation or classical composition. They're wonderful additions if you're called to explore them, but they're not necessary for creating something meaningful and powerful. Some people resonate with the simplicity of the basic practice and get incredible results just focusing on one coin and one clear intention. Others are drawn to the complexity and multiple layers of the advanced techniques. There's no right or wrong approach, only what feels aligned and authentic for you. If you're someone who loves systems and complexity, the advanced techniques might feel like coming home. If you prefer simplicity and focus, stick with the basic practice and trust that it contains everything you need. The most important factor in your success isn't which technique you choose. It's the consistency, intention, and openness you bring to whatever practice you're doing. Let me tell you about one more person whose story beautifully illustrates this point. Catherine from Phoenix started with the basic coin and saltwater practice and got modest but steady results. She was tempted to try the advanced techniques, thinking they would speed up her manifestations, but something told her to stick with simplicity. Catherine worked with the same silver dollar and the same simple intention for an entire year. She didn't layer multiple coins. She didn't align with moon cycles. She didn't use complex visualization techniques. She just consistently, patiently, lovingly tended to her one clear intention for financial abundance that aligned with her highest good. By the end of that year, Catherine had received a job offer that doubled her previous salary, inherited a small but significant amount from a relative she'd barely known, and most surprisingly won a local photography contest that came with a cash prize and led to a profitable side business. Catherine's story reminds us that consistency and genuine intention are more powerful than complexity. Sometimes the universe rewards devotion and patience more than elaborate techniques. Sometimes the simple path is the most profound path. This brings me to what I consider the most important aspect of any abundance practice, basic or advanced: your relationship with the process itself. Are you approaching your practice from a place of joy and gratitude, or from desperation and need? Are you enjoying the journey of conscious creation, or are you just enduring it until you get results? The energy you bring to your practice matters more than the specific steps you follow. Approach manifestation from joy, curiosity, and genuine appreciation for the mystery of creation. You align with the same energy that creates galaxies and grows forests. When you approach it from desperation, impatience, and attachment, you align with scarcity and resistance. I encourage you to check in with yourself regularly about this. How does your practice feel? Are you looking forward to your time with your coin and salt water? Or does it feel like a chore you have to do to get what you want? Are you curious about what might unfold? Or are you stressed about when it will happen? If your practice starts feeling heavy or desperate, it's time to step back and reconnect with the joy and wonder of conscious creation. Remember that you're participating in one of the most incredible aspects of being human: the ability to work consciously with the creative forces of the universe. That's not a burden, it's a privilege. Let me share one final story that I think perfectly captures the spirit of what we've been exploring together. Maria Elena from San Antonio had been struggling financially for years when she discovered this practice. She was a single mother working multiple jobs, behind on bills, and honestly feeling pretty hopeless about her financial situation. When Maria Elena first placed her coin in salt water, she broke down crying. Not from sadness, but from relief. For the first time in years, she felt like she was doing something proactive about her situation, instead of just surviving day to day. She felt connected to something larger than her immediate circumstances. Maria Elena did the basic practice consistently for 3 months, without seeing dramatic external changes. But something inside her was shifting. She started feeling more hopeful, more creative, more open to possibility she'd been too stressed to notice before. She began having conversations with neighbors she'd never really talked to, started saying yes to social invitations she would have previously declined, and generally became more engaged with the world around her. One of those conversations led to a job opportunity with a neighbor's small business. That job led to learning new skills that qualified her for a better position with another company. That position provided the stability and income that allowed her to start a small side business, helping other single mothers navigate financial resources in their community. 2 years later, Maria Elena was not just financially stable, but was actively helping others find their path to abundance. Her coin and saltwater practice had started as a desperate attempt to pay bills and had evolved into a complete transformation of her relationship with money, community, and service. Maria Elena's story illustrates something beautiful about abundance work. When we align with prosperity consciousness, we don't just improve our own lives. We become conduits for abundance to flow through us to others. True abundance is never just personal. It's always connected to our ability to contribute to the well-being of our communities and the world. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing these practices with our community. Every person who heals their relationship with abundance, who clears their blocks around receiving, who steps into their natural prosperity becomes a beacon of possibility for everyone around them. Your abundance doesn't take away from anyone else's. It adds to the total amount of prosperity circulating in the world. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to take a moment to really feel into everything we've explored. From the simple power of placing a coin in salt water to the advanced techniques that can transform your entire prosperity consciousness, you now have access to tools that can genuinely change your relationship with abundance. But here's what I want you to remember most. You are not separate from abundance. You are not someone who has to convince the universe to give you prosperity. You are a natural expression of the same creative intelligence that manifests stars and flowers and everything in between. Abundance is your birthright, not because you're special or chosen, but because you exist. Your very existence is proof that the universe wants you here. And the universe doesn't create anything it doesn't want to support. The coin and salt water practice isn't about making something happen that wouldn't naturally occur. It's about removing the blocks and beliefs that prevent you from receiving what's already flowing toward you. It's about aligning with what's already true, that you live in an abundant universe that wants to support your highest expression and greatest joy. So whether you choose the simple practice or explore the advanced techniques, whether you see immediate results or patient, gradual transformation, remember that you're not trying to convince the universe to give you abundance. You're simply opening yourself to receive what's already yours. Your only job is to stay open, stay grateful, and stay willing to receive in whatever form your abundance chooses to appear. Sometimes it will look like money in your bank account. Sometimes it will look like opportunities that exceed your expectations. Sometimes it will look like relationships that support your dreams, or insights that transform your perspective, or synchronicities that guide you toward your highest path. Trust the process, trust the timing, and most importantly, Trust yourself. You wouldn't have been guided to this information if you weren't ready to step into a new level of prosperity. The fact that you're here, listening to these words, taking notes, planning to take action, is already evidence that something in your abundance story is shifting. I want to hear about your experiences with this practice. Comment below and tell me, what feels most exciting to you about working with the coin and saltwater practice? Are you drawn to starting simple, or do one of the advanced techniques call to you? What would change in your life if money were no longer a source of stress or limitation? And if this video has opened up new possibilities for you, if you can feel something shifting just from listening to these ideas, hit that like button and let me know. Those likes aren't just numbers. They're signals to me that our community is ready for more advanced abundance teachings. They tell me that what we're building together is making a real difference in people's lives. I'll be creating more content about advanced manifestation techniques, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We're just getting started on this journey of conscious abundance, and I have so much more to share with you about working with the creative forces of the universe to manifest a life that exceeds your wildest dreams. Remember, abundance isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a way of being in the world. It's recognizing that you live in a universe of infinite possibilities, that you are a creative being with the power to consciously participate in shaping your reality, and that every moment offers you the opportunity to choose abundance over scarcity, possibility over limitation, gratitude over complaint. The coin in your salt water is just the beginning. It's a symbol, a starting point, a gentle introduction to the incredible power you have to work consciously with the energy of prosperity. But the real magic isn't in the coin or the salt water. It's in you. It's in your willingness to believe in possibilities beyond your current circumstances. Your commitment to consistent practice even when results aren't immediately visible. And your courage to receive at levels that might feel unfamiliar at first. As you go forward from here, as you begin or deepen your abundance practice, carry with you the knowing that you are supported, you are worthy, and you are already more abundant than you realize. The money will come, the opportunities will appear, the doors will open. But more than that, you will discover that you are capable of creating and receiving at levels that will amaze and inspire you. The portal of wealth isn't something outside of you that you need to find or unlock. It's something within you that you need to remember and activate. That coin in salt water is just helping you remember what was always true. You are abundance itself, having a human experience. Now go create something beautiful with what you've learned today. Take that first step, choose your coin, prepare your salt water, and step consciously into the abundant life that's waiting for you. The universe is ready when you are. Before you close this video, take a moment to reflect. If fear and limitation were not factors, if you knew with absolute certainty that your abundance practice would work, what would you ask for? What would you allow yourself to dream? Hold that vision in your heart as you begin this practice, because that vision isn't just a dream. It's a preview of what's possible when you align with the prosperity that's already seeking you. Thank you for being part of this community of conscious creators. Thank you for having the courage to explore these possibilities and the wisdom to take action on what resonates with you. Your abundance matters not just to you, but to everyone whose life will be touched by the prosperity, generosity, and joy that flow through you when you're living in alignment with your true abundance. The portal is open. Step through it